Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills. Today is Monday the 29th. We had the market moving lower here for corn and soybeans here today when you look at those new crop contracts, but wheat bucked the trend, trading higher here by 16 cents on the day. Keep in mind when you look at these changes that tomorrow we do have very important USDA reports out. Planting acreage report is scheduled for release at 11 o'clock Central Time. Also at that time is the quarterly grain stocks report. Both of these reports have the potential to really move the market, so pay close attention tomorrow to these numbers and how the market reacts. If you don't have live quotes, contact us at 877-472-4607 and we can set you up with a demo of the Grain Hedge Standard platform. You'd get live quotes on your mobile phone as well as your desktop. So do get in touch with us if you don't have live quotes. We got a number of things to cover here today, but before we get into them, let's talk a little bit about export inspections. You'll notice week over week we did see a decline in export inspections out for corn and soybeans. Corn came in at 886,000 metric tons inspected for export. That was down from last week's number. Soybeans also down from last week's number at 74,000 metric tons. Wheat was able to add some inspections here this week, up to 348,000 metric tons, up from 309,000 metric tons last week. Now let's talk a little bit about crop conditions. This came out after the market closed here. You'll notice that we did see good to excellent ratings for corn slide 3%, down from 71% last week to 68% rated good to excellent this week. That's very disappointing, but it is one of the reasons why we rallied last week. So I do think this is one of those situations where in the morning I think we could be chopping around a little bit, but I don't think we're going to trade these numbers hugely simply because we rallied last week because of the rainy situation, because we were expecting to see some crop conditions decline this week. Keep in mind Ohio really stands out here, down 19% good to excellent week over week. So huge declines over there in the eastern grain belt. And that is, of course, negative for corn production here this year. When you look at soybean planted acreage, you'll see that we were able to increase 4% week over week. So that is good to see. But when you look at Missouri, which is the main state that's lagging, we were only able to improve from 51% planted to 62% planted for soybeans week over week. So up 11% this week. On average, we're typically about 94% planted for Missouri. Hopefully, we'll get some opportunities here this week. It looks as though there's a few days you might be able to see some planters rolling, but there will be more precipitation moving through Missouri here throughout this week. Keep in mind, when we look at soybean conditions, we also saw a decline, down 2% this week, from 65% last week to 63% this week. So that is a little bit disappointing here when you look at soybean conditions and yield prospects. One of the other reasons why we rallied last week. When you look at winter wheat was rallying last week. A lot of people talking about delayed harvest here for winter wheat and crop condition concerns, crop quality concerns. You'll notice that we were able to improve our harvest pace up to 38% harvested, down from 46% on average throughout the last 4 years. So we still lag for winter wheat. We should see some conditions this week in the weather forecast that will allow winter wheat to get out and get harvested. So that will hopefully be a little bit of an improvement here next week when you look at harvest pace. Let's take a quick look at the weather outlook for the remainder of the week. You'll notice that the northwest remains very, very hot, 8 to 16 degrees above normal, above average. So northwest remains very hot, but when you look throughout the week at the Midwest will remain cool, and you'll notice that showers do move through the Midwest and really focus a little bit more on that eastern grain belt again. So those areas should continue to get moisture. Those areas are already saturated, so that could continue to degrade the corn conditions and soybean conditions in the eastern grain belt. When you look at next week, you'll notice more rain in the eastern corn belt. So that's something we want to pay close attention to, and that's something that could help support prices here to come. Now tomorrow, we were talking about these two major reports out. Let's talk a little bit about the acreage expectations here. You'll notice acreage expectations is to see a little bit of an increase for corn acreage, up from 89.199 million acres reported on March 31st to 89.292 million acres. That's what's expected by the market. Now, market's also expecting, this is a Reuters poll, this is an average of analyst guesses, but on average in this Reuters poll, people are looking for soybeans to increase by about 500,000 acres from the 84.635 million acres reported on March 31st. And also for wheat, they're expecting to see about 500,000 acre increase in wheat plantings here, up from 55.367 million acres. That's what's expected here for the market, so keep those numbers in the back of your mind and watch the trade reaction, because we may see a little bit, especially for soybeans, people are a little bit skeptical. Even if we do get numbers here, they're going to question these numbers and they're going to say the survey was conducted too early. We continued to get rain, and a lot of these planting pace really hadn't been completed here, and we may see some acres drop out of the running here for soybeans, which could end up leading to a smaller crop come harvest in the fall. When you look at the quarterly grain stocks, just take a quick look here. Expectations for 4.555 billion bushels here for corn as of June 1st. Soybeans stocks here are expected to come in right around 670 million bushels, and wheat at 718 million bushels. So those are the numbers that traders are going to be focusing on. If you focus on corn, I think this is going to be interesting. Corn and soybeans here. Of course, the avian flu has played a big role in the market. There's been a lot of headlines about the avian flu. It's going to be interesting to see if we come out with higher than expected quarterly grain stocks. That could indicate that feed usage is being adjusted. Maybe we don't have as much going to that poultry and sector here for feed usage. So guys, that's the numbers. Those are the numbers we're going to be paying close attention to. If you have any questions, please give the office a call. The number is 877-472-4607. I hope to see you here or hear from you on Tuesday. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here for a breakdown of the report after the market closes on Tuesday.